All right. So good morning, Alton. Good morning, Tiffany. How are you guys doing?
Very good, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me. So Alton is a functional medicine doctor here in Katy, Texas, outside of Houston. And I have searched for a long time to find someone local that I didn't have to drive so far for. So I'm so thankful to have found you. But I have been getting so many questions around functional medicine and just wanted to give you an opportunity to answer some of those. I have pulled my audience and sent you some of the questions. And so I'm going to kind of just give you the floor. I'll just say really quick why I choose personally functional medicine over your normal, like general practitioner kind of thing that the majority of Americans do. So personally, I choose functional medicine because um, the great thing about it is that it is a lifestyle. I can make lifestyle changes. I can change my diet. I can change my physical activity, like exercise and my supplementation and things like that, to affect the way that I feel, affect my overall health and wellness, my energy levels, my just, and address any health issues that I might be having just through my lifestyle changes like that. And so that's what I prefer to do. I always believe that there is, a place for all types of medicine in the world, but if you, in my opinion, I have had so much better results with going the natural route of what I put into my body and how I treat my body, my health and wellness, as far as like my prayer life, my, it's holistic, extra, me time, quiet time, and diet changes and exercise changes can make a huge difference that so many people just don't know about. So with that said, um, I'm going to kind of give you the floor and share, where you are, how people find you, and how they know that they might want to go to you as opposed to whoever they might be seeing it now.
Absolutely. So yeah, the name of the clinic is Vintage Wellness Clinic. They can visit us online at vintagewellnessclinic.com. We are located in Katy, Texas, and we do a lot of remote treatments and visits. We use a telemedicine platform that is HIPAA compliant, so all your information is kept private. So if you are further out from Katy, or if you're out in another state visiting family, we can always do visits online using a telemedicine platform. Mhm.
Okay, so we have some questions here from Sarah. So the first question is, what is a functional medicine doctor and how are they different from a general practitioner?
Yes, that is a question that everybody seems to wonder. What makes the two different? I have a brother, he's a medical doctor too, and he's a regular conventional doctor. So the difference is you have a functional medicine physician and a conventional doctor. I used to practice and I was um, taught majority of my life that everything needs to be conventional. If someone comes in with pain, you give them a pill. If someone comes in with certain ailments, just grab a medication, give it a medication, and that's it. So as I was getting more into functional medicine, a functional medicine provider or practitioner differs from a conventional medicine is that a functional medicine doctor looks for the root and the cause of the problem. As a conventional medicine will just look just to patch or mask the symptoms, but doesn't go any deeper to the root of the problem. In functional medicine, we strive to go what is really causing these changes. We can treat the symptom, but what is the root of the problem? So, in small words, we treat the root of the problem versus just masking the symptoms.
And then how do I know if a functional medicine doctor is right for my needs?
That's a simple answer. Go check them out. Go try it on. So I encourage everyone If they're already been thinking about doing it, just go try it on. Go check them out. A good practitioner is always going to listen to your needs. It's going to take time, and I think that's what functional medicine do. In conventional medicine, they give you about 10 or 15 minutes per patient, and how much do you really get from a patient in that time? Not really much, but in functional medicine, you strive to listen to the patient. You get a very thorough past medical history, and you make that relationship with the physician, with the patient physician relationship. So I say go try them out, check them out, and they will take the time. And that's what makes a good practitioner, someone who listens and understand your needs and goes to the root of the problem.
I'm going to add to that one. I think in functional medicine, also, the provider listens to what you want to see in a treatment plan as well. Because there are some patients who want to find the root of the problem and fix the symptoms at the same time, and they're willing to do medications also, as well as changing their lifestyle. And so a functional medicine doctor is also open to the patient's treatment plan as well and what they want to see.
Correct.
Mhm.
That's correct.
And for me, I got tired of just masking the problem. And
Mm.
unfortunately, most of those masks also came with other side effects that even compounded, you know, what was going on. And so if you get to the root of the problem first and address it at the root and then start fixing it, you actually feel better instead of adding and compounding to the original issue.
Absolutely. And we actually are getting a lot of emails and phone calls from conventional doctors asking information about what we do, and they want to learn about the tests that we use, which we're going to talk about that here shortly as well. And they're just wondering, what is it that you guys are doing different that people are getting healed? People are healing from the inside out. So even one of them, about what 3 weeks ago, we ordered a specific test because he wants to know more about the root of his personal issues. So that he's been struggling for years. And as a doctor, he's like, I can't figure this out, but I'm willing to go this route. And he reached out to us. So happily so, he's finding answers that he did not have before.
It's fantastic.
All right. So the next question is, how much does a typical visit or treatment plan cost?
Okay, correct. So functional medicine, we try in our practice to use insurance for visits, and we can use insurance for some of the basic blood work that we use. Now, for the patients who don't have insurance, we also have a cash price uh, that we use for those specific tests, and we make them very accessible for everyone. Now, the more specialty tests that we use in functional medicine, depending on what the patient is looking for and their needs, they can range between, I'm saying, what, like about $400 average, I would say, per test. So it's not a $2,000 test or $1,000 test, but we try to make it for everyone to have access to it. We have genetic testing, we have micronutrient testing, and we have a gastrointestinal testing of how your microbiome works in your body, your gut bacteria, if you have too much fungi or not, which is a topic that is blowing up out in the media. What is my gut doing? Do I have leaky gut syndrome and so forth? So we make it readily accessible for everyone and with that price, but that's usually what the range, would you say, is about 400?
Yeah, I would say they start at 400 and they can kind of fluctuate from there. But we do always try to use a patient's insurance with any testing company that we use. We try to find the best prices and the best options for the patients themselves. The difference also between our practice and other functional medicine practices is it's hard to find a functional medicine doctor who doesn't require you to be on some sort of membership or that has a big upfront cost or they don't take insurance at all. And so I think that's what makes us stand out too when people are looking for functional medicine, because we really strive to do what is best for the patient financially also. Because a part of complete healing from the inside out is you have to have your stress under control. You have to have your spirituality. It's all a balance. And so we don't want to add additional stress financially to our patients either that can hinder their healing process as well.
Right.
Well, and then I take into consideration if you are going to the doctor regularly, like a GP or something, and you're investing in medications and it's, the time away from work, the sick time, and the time down on the couch, not functioning well, the energy levels, the things that you're not doing in life. If you can do away with even one of those factors, that, upfront cost of a test or something like that becomes a whole lot more worth it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a really good point too. Because then you're eliminating your downtime and you're able to, like you said, go to work and do those things and spend time with your family, which at the end is worth more than anything else.
Right.
Is there a difference in the way you evaluate a patient compared to a general practitioner?
Yes, absolutely. So the main thing, as soon as a patient walks in, you want to make sure that you build a relationship with the patient. I believe that if you build a relationship in where trust and honesty is the foundation, you're gonna get great results. I think that a patient can immediately tell if a provider really cares or not. So once they see the honesty and you're building that trust with the patient, that's what makes our practice or functional medicine different. That's just the core foundation of it. That you make more time
Mhm.
to speak with the patient, more time to spend with the patient versus the typical 20 to 30 patients a day, 15 minutes a piece, that majority of clinics out there try to follow. But in this clinic, we try to make sure that we spend enough time with the patient to address and build that relationship with them. So that's I would say that's one of the major factors that makes us different. Besides the testing that we do, the tests that we do are very advanced in its nature. They're out there. People are learning more about it through social media, and I think that's what makes it different. The specialty testing that we have and the way that we approach things, instead of just giving someone a pill, we approach it with a different kind of testing, nutrition, and spiritual growth, mental growth, and we give them support as well.
I'm going to touch bases on what you said about building trust with our patients too, because when people get to the point where they're going to a doctor, it's not easy always to open up about what's really going on. And so building that trust and that relationship helps open the door to where they're comfortable saying, hey, this is what is really going on. This is what I'm really dealing with.
Mhm.
So that's why trust is a really important aspect of functional medicine too.
Correct.
Can you
Stress is a big factor too. That we get to see a lot of people that mainly everything comes from stress,
Mhm.
but you don't find out the root of the problem until they build the trust and they tell you,
Right.
"Hey, personally, I'm going through this situation
Mhm.
with my child, and I'm not getting enough sleep, and my stress level is to the roof." So, bingo, you found a huge trigger of what's causing the immune system to drop, or all these different things to happen. And a lot of people may think that, oh yeah, stress is doable, but some people do struggle with stress, and stress can have a huge impact in your body. And you have to be able how to understand how each person's body work, so that you can give them the right treatment or guide them in the direction for success and healing.
Mhm. And part of that is building the accountability that they know that everyone has situations in life. It's not just them. Because it's so easy to think, well, I'm the only one going through this. I'm all alone in my struggles. But that's not the case. Everyone struggles with their own situations that cause stress, anxiety, depression,
Right.
that really plays an impact on your overall health. And so we try to make them feel comfortable that you're not alone. And so that's one thing that we focus on too.
can you also talk about the difference in how you read blood work?
Correct. Yes. So, for example, the way that it's a complex question, but I'm going to try to keep it simple. The way that we read blood work, we first look at the overall picture as a clinician. You see what are you dealing with. Let's say, for example, a patient may be within the normal ranges of what they consider normal, but then you see the scale on the very low end of normal. So other people may say, oh, he's perfectly fine, but the patient is on the low end of normal. But on our end, when we see that, we're like, no, that patient is actually heading towards bypassing that edge and going to abnormal. But he's on the very edge, so you immediately consider that and attack that. And that's how you read all these tests that you do. And then you go a little step deeper, and then you come and find out that when you add that extra test, you see all these answers, whether you need to move on forward or if the patient is perfectly fine or not. So I think that's how you read it. You just don't want to oversee what is on the low end of normal, because that low end of normal, we want to make sure that the patient is at optimum health. And that's what functional medicine is all about. You want their patient to have optimum levels, to feel great, and not to feel, oh, I'm just tired all the time, but I guess that's my normal, because that's not the normal. Normal is feeling revived, having energy and joy, being joyful about what life brings to you, and have the energy to battle it. So that's how we read the tests.
So the next question we have here, if your treatment plan is nutrition based, then how do I ensure that I stay on track to get the best results? This is a great question.
Yeah, great question. So just like anything else, I would say accountability, a good support system. So every time that we prescribe something for a patient, or we put them on a anti-inflammatory protocol, as an example, we make sure that we ask the patient if, okay, who else in the family is going to be able to do this with you? Or is it going to be somebody else doing this along with you? If they say, yes, my husband may be helping me out, and he may be following. So then we have now two people. We have one extra person that is going to be holding them accountable at home. But then on our end, we try to make sure that we do follow-up appointments with the patient, so they don't fall within the cracks. I make myself available. I give them my personal email, and I tell them, or the business email, to reach out to me, or to call us, or to send us a message with whatever questions they have. So that's something that I always make clear to them, that they have access to any questions. And as soon as we put them on a protocol, we reach out to them 3 days later. And then after that, we reach out about 30 days after, just to make sure that monthly we check in with them, or every 15 days, depending on the needs or how the patient is developing, or what struggles are they having. So that's usually what we do, is we try to do some checkpoints with them, and we make sure that they follow through with those checkpoints.
And we also let them know, hey, if you fall off your nutrition plan, it happens. If you there's no question that's too small or too complex that you shouldn't feel comfortable coming to us. Even if it's, hey, this is what's going on in my personal life. So I fell off my nutrition plan. What can I do? Where do I need to restart? Because people fall off all the time. And so you shouldn't let that determine, a small failure will not determine your big success. And so we try to make them feel comfortable coming to us, like if they fall off and if they get hindered in their progress, that's when we encourage them even more. So they always have access to calling, emailing, scheduling an appointment, and coming in to talk to us. So we make ourselves very available for them too.
Yes, and something else before I forget, we do give them tools as well. So I feel like if you want someone to succeed, you have to give them tools, you have to check on them, and you have to educate them. So those are the three things that I personally follow every time that I give a patient something to follow. Make sure I give them the tools, check on them, and see how they are doing. And then, be open to flexibility. A lot of patients say, well, this may work for me, but it's not working for me right now. What can I do differently? So we always have options. And I feel like in functional medicine, a good practitioner always has options for the patients.
Mhm. I guess you could look at an aspect as we don't just plant the seed, but we also water it too. And so we nurture it too because we succeed when our patients succeed. And so that's something that we love to see is when our patients are doing great too.
Mhm.
Can you prescribe medications or only supplements?
No, we do prescribe medications, absolutely. So we prescribe anything just like a regular physician, and we do supplements as well. But yes, we can prescribe medications, absolutely.
Yes.
And when we do medications, for example, if we do find through the testing that the patient does have thyroid issues, we try first to check if there's anything else that is affecting the thyroid. We address it, and if it's still not working, then we decide to start the patient on a thyroid medication. We usually go with a natural thyroid medication that is prescribed. You have to have a prescription, a medical prescription. We still do it, but we try to go with the natural route. So, for example, a medication usually that we prescribe that is natural for the thyroid is Nature Throid. So, Nature Throid is not synthetic like your typical Synthroid or levothyroxine. So, that's what makes it a little bit different too. We always try to look for other routes that are more natural for the body, uh, more bioavailable, as to say.
Correct. And I think there are some circumstances too where medication is necessary at first to control certain things to keep you healthy. And then as you change your diet and your lifestyle and add exercise and go through the lifestyle change, we like to remove that medication too with monitoring because sometimes things have to be taken care of and then while you're fixing the root of the problem also.
Yes, that's one great point that you brought in. People want to be off medications. I see people coming in with literally a bag of medications, and they say, "My goal is to get off of this medication." So that's one of our biggest goals, and we should actually have uh, like a little bag here where we keep putting all these medications that people are getting off. Yeah, I think that'll be a very good idea. But yeah, that's what we strive for. We get people off medications, off blood sugar medications. We teach them how to properly eat, off blood pressure medications to weight loss and nutrition. Even we get them off their triglyceride medication just by teaching them how to deal with it and how to understand the body works. So it's a lot of education, but we do help people out in that aspect. They just don't want to be on polypharmacy, taking all these medications that have been prescribed over the last 10 years, and they're just adding up and adding up and adding up. They see that your blood sugar is high. Here's another pill. Let's add some more. So,
or your levels aren't where we want them to be, so we're going to give you a higher dose now.
So yeah, that's a big part of functional medicine and what we do in our practice too.
And then this question is one that we get a lot. How do the supplements that I get from your office differ from those that I can find in the grocery store or a health food store?
Correct. So the supplements that we use, we have done a very, very deep research over the last decades on which has been the biggest companies out there that reach almost pharmaceutical grade supplements. So what we carry are pretty much pharmaceutical grade supplements. So we know they work. There's a lot of data. There's a lot of research. Very well organized companies too. They know what they're doing. They know what they're selling. They have great results. They have a lot of patient information, which is great. They have a lot of information for providers as well. So all of the supplements that we have, there is, if people have questions, we have answers, and we have answers that are backed up by data. Scientifically.
And the companies that we use too, they only work through medical practices. So they only offer their supplements to providers.
Correct. So yeah, so that's another thing. A lot of people ask me, well, some of these supplements, can I just get them at the store? And I said, no, you have to actually go through a physician who's certified with them and have access to them for you to get it. So they make it not easy to have access. So because they have a name and a reputation that they want to keep. So, and they work great. And I think people, whenever they hear them, they already have heard about them, and they just don't see them out in the market. They just have to buy them through a physician.
And isn't there a difference in what your body actually uptakes and uses?
Correct. Yes. So a lot of these supplements, they are bioavailable, or they're better absorbed by your body. Let's say, for example, B12 that has been it's just been out in the media throughout all this COVID and pandemic and so forth. Vitamin B12, you have the version that is just cobalamin, and now people are understanding that when it's methylated cobalamin, your body absorbs it better. So these supplements that we provide, they already come methylated, so methylcobalamin. So people are just not, they don't know the difference between a B12 and a B12, but once you see that if it's methylated, your body actually absorbs it better, then that makes a huge difference in the type of supplement that you take.
The quality of supplementation too, like you're saying, the absorption rate. People don't realize until they're educated that generic supplements are different from pharmaceutical grade supplements. Like, oh, well, this is B12 and this is B12, but your body doesn't process them the same way.
Correct. The way that they get broken down, and even the way that they're coated, that makes a huge difference on the supplement. So yes, I think the way that pretty much your body is going to absorb it is what makes the difference.
Correct. Because if you're just taking supplements but you're not absorbing them, you're really not getting anything from them. It's not going to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why a lot of people come and like, well, I've been taking the supplement for years, but it hasn't changed anything. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course, that goes along with what type of nutrition the patient has been having too.
Very true.
What kind of health is their gut as well. They're having good bacteria or bad bacteria. So the intestine is really interesting how it works. If the intestine doesn't like something, it just pushes it out. It's like, no, thank you. And it just goes out.
So everything stems from the gut health too. And we also work very closely with a GI specialist.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there's ever a circumstance that we have questions on, we have access to someone who has all of the answers.
Correct. Yep. That's true.
And then another thing is, can someone, we talked about someone coming to you with reoccurring issues that they want to address, but what about if you have a patient that just has a cold or, allergies or things like that, that they would normally go to like a sick visit for? Can they come to you for that as well?
Absolutely. So we do the light primary care. That's what we call that. We do offer those services of light primary care. We do have a lot of people, with allergies or just normal upper respiratory infections that we treat, and we still give them the basic treatment. So we still practice both, though. We still do a little bit of conventional medicine along those lines.
Mm-hmm. We just always encourage our patients to go a more natural route, and we try to fix the root of the problem, like we said, instead of just suppressing it. But some people are comfortable just suppressing it, and so we do what we can to educate them and show them how it could change their whole life if they kind of go in this other direction too.
Allergies is just a big one, though. Yeah, that.
I know for me personally, I grew up on allergy medications daily, and I finally figured out that, if I avoid these foods and I take out the triggers that are around my house and my environment, I don't have that issue anymore. So, one other question I can think of is, what ages can come to you?
All ages. We treat children. I think our youngest patient that we've treated, 4 years old, 5 years old, and we treat all the way to our, elderly population too. So we go from children all the way to the elderly.
Okay.
Geriatrics. So yeah, we do geriatrics in children.
Okay. Well, wonderful. Is there anything else that you guys would like to share?
Well, I say that if you have any questions, just think how you would want to spend the rest of your life and how much are you really, is your health worth? That's a big question that a lot of people struggle with. They're like, okay, I don't want to spend some money on myself, but then I tell them that when you invest in your health, that's the best investment that you will ever do. You're going to be able to function better. You're going to be able to live longer, extend your life. And you see it very clear. I used to do a lot of nursing home visits a little while back. And I could tell the difference in those nursing homes, the patients that have actually lived a good life, a healthy life, exercising and moving, versus the patient that did not. So you had a patient that was getting ready to go to church, putting their tie on and just getting all dolled up to go praise Jesus. And you had the other patient that was just getting that oxygen tank on, putting the nasal cannula on because they weren't able to go out and do anything. So I started looking in person and in real life that health has a way that you treat your body in your younger years will have a fruit in the later years, but it's never too late to do something about it. So make sure that if you're thinking that you need to put yourself at an optimum health, reach out to us. We'll be happy to talk to you. We'll be happy to check if you with your insurance companies and so forth. Tiffany takes care of all that. And we always make room for everyone if they want to be seen this week or today or tomorrow. We always make room for them.
And going back to what you said, it comes back to what is your why? What is your reason for wanting to be healthy? And I've seen it time after time say, my family is the reason I'm doing this. Because we get to the point where we're so far that people can either accept it and say, well, this is to the point where I've gotten, or they take a deeper look and say, I want to be healthy because my family needs me, because my children need me. And so for me, finding your personal why is a huge encouragement. And some people, I would say part of it is self-worth too. Well, because as a parent, you tend to always put everyone else's needs above your own. But as a parent, if you're not healthy, then it's hard to help everyone else. And so while sometimes it can be an investment, either financially or time-wise, it's worth it. Like everyone needs to be able to find their self-worth and realize you are worth it too.
Correct. So yeah, there are options. There are opportunities to out there to make your health better. We do all the shopping for you, so you don't have to worry about that. You know, we look for what's best for you, and we just put a plan together that it fits the patient. So we strive for that. But yeah, I feel like right now the health industry and the wellness practices are blooming since COVID, and people have become more aware of their health. And I can speak for my family. You know, my mom and my dad who just didn't think anything about wellness, and now they take vitamins. They go for walks. They're swimming, and I'm very impressed. COVID kind of had an effect on everyone, mentally, spiritually, and physically. So
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of great things in wellness, and it's good to invest in yourself. It's a great investment, and I'm not saying it just because I'm in wellness. If you talk to any accountant or investor, they will tell you the same thing. They say, hey, the best thing you can do is start investing in yourself, physically and mentally. So
Yes. One, I actually just had a question of a friend that knows that I'm interviewing you right now, and they ask if you can also help with special needs or spectrum needs.
absolutely. So a great question. I'm smiling because we have we have twins. Right? We have twins from this patient, and she brought him in last week, and the children have autism. So we are helping those children. We've taken a few days to create the best plan because they're twins, and the mom came in for help. She said, hey, I've tried everything and I've heard about functional medicine, so that's why I'm here.
And sorry, if you could just see and talk to her, you could just feel how overwhelmed she is.
Extremely.
Like, and she's like, I've been to my doctor. I have been doing this for 4 years now. I am completely like at my wit's end. And you never know how to deal with special needs. No one is ever ready. No one is ever prepared. You have to learn as you go. And so, yeah, so back to your question, it's been great.
No, it's been. I've actually enjoyed doing a little more in-depth research on the plan of care that we're going to do for these two beautiful children, and we're excited. We know that supplementation and certain vitamins and minerals, antioxidants are going to be key factors for these children. We know that we need to do more testing on them, such as exposure to heavy metals. I mean, these are the things that we go above and beyond, and not just one heavy metal. We actually do
There's a whole
list
panel of heavy metals, macronutrients. We have different labs that we work with that offer different testing.
Correct. And of course, we give them a list of triggers that the parent needs to look out for, and we remove one by one and see if they see a difference in the child. And once we get the plan ready, they should see a difference, start seeing how they interact with people within 4 weeks. She should be seeing a difference, or he should be seeing a difference on their child who has this kind of concerns, or in the line of the spectrum of autism or trisomies and so forth.
That's awesome. I know.
Yes, and
that's a very.
we're very excited on that one. I'm glad that she asked.
Yeah.
So yeah, because that just happened last week.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll make sure to give her your contact information.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Fairly new patient, but I'm already seeing some good results in my own journey. So that's a big reason why I brought you on here. So make sure if you guys have any questions, I'm going to put this both on Facebook and YouTube. And so make sure that you put your questions in the comments, and I'll either, you guys can see, I'll send you the link to the video and you can check every so often for questions. But also I can email them to you if they come through another source. So
Perfect.
or reach out directly to you guys. What's your phone number? The office phone number.
The office number is 832-449-8411.
Okay. All right. And vintagewellnessclinic.com.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you again for your time. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a blessed day.
So do
Thank
you.
you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah, so much.